What's the world's most disadvantaged country, geographically speaking? I've made a list of some of the most disadvantaged countries, and at the end we'll figure out which ones got it the worst. First up is Mongolia. They're a vast, mostly empty country, fully encased between China and Russia, countries with two of the world's largest militaries. Obviously, they have to maintain good relationships with China and Russia, but surprisingly, they've also been able to stay on good terms with the US at the same time. And they probably won't be invaded because they're useful to China and Russia as a buffer state. South Korea is significantly handicapped by the fact that it is the southern half of Korea and thus next to North Korea. North Korea's government is entirely oriented around being as annoying as possible to everyone in the world, but especially South Korea. And so South Korea has to spend a lot of money to stop them. It could be worse though. They could be in Africa. Ethiopia is in Africa, which is statistically speaking a very difficult place to be as a country. Ethiopia also has the problem of needing to trade with the rest of the world to develop, but they can't on their own because they're landlocked. They're actually the world's most populous landlocked country. They don't want to give Eritrea any money because not that long ago Eritrea was part of Ethiopia until Eritrea won a very bloody war for independence, and they're still rivals to this day. And Somalia is too unstable, so they have to go through Djibouti for trade. Djibouti has used this to extort them, charging a $1.5 billion fee, 10% of Ethiopia's yearly government budget. Djibouti also has the power to cut them off at any time. They might not be stuck with the Djibouti deal forever, though. There was a deal that was supposed to happen with Somaliland. Somaliland is a country that's officially part of Somalia, but operates independently. Somalia understandably didn't like that they were helping a revolting part of their country. So the two countries met in Turkey to discuss. Now Ethiopia has a possible deal to use a port in a hopefully stable part of Somalia in the works instead. Lesotho also has had the difficulties of being in Africa, and they're landlocked like Ethiopia, but worse. They are entirely inside of South Africa, so they have to either keep South Africa happy under any circumstances, or stop existing. Unlike Ethiopia, they can't shop around for a better deal or anything, because there's only one option. The situation they're in is definitely worse than Ethiopia's, but all things considered, it's by no means the end of the world. It can seem like Haiti is always in crisis. Because of where Haiti is in the world, they are consistently getting hit with earthquakes, hurricanes, and floods. Each disaster destroys everything, and they'll get hit with another one before they can fully rebuild. Extreme weather events are becoming more common around the world, so it could get worse. While they get an unusually large amount of natural disasters, they're only impacted so much because they're poor. Japan also has a lot of natural disasters, but they're not as impacted because of the infrastructure they have because they're rich. All of Egypt is centered around the Nile, so if something were to happen to it, that would be really bad. Something happened to it? Egypt only has the end of the Nile. The Nile starts in two places, Uganda and Ethiopia. Ethiopia built a dam on their part of the Nile. Egypt is too far away to stop Ethiopia with force, and they're not powerful in any way that could stop Ethiopia through other means. However, Egypt is probably more advantaged than disadvantaged by their geography because they have the Suez Canal, one of the world's most important trade routes. Israel is completely surrounded by countries that want to destroy them. Right now they aren't doing too bad, but that's mostly because of support from America. America's more divided than ever about sending money to Israel, so they could very well lose their position of military strength compared to their rivals like Hamas. If America stops funding them, they won't lose everything though. They've built infrastructure that won't just go away, like for example the desalination plants that help make up for their lack of natural fresh water. The Marshall Islands and other islands like them are kind of doomed. Because of global warming, icebergs are melting, among other things causing the sea level to rise. We don't know exactly how long it will take, but after a few decades of this, islands that are close to sea level, such as the Marshall Islands, will disappear beneath the sea. The people on these islands will have to relocate, but if the countries really wanted to keep existing, they could. A country called the Order of Malta lost all of their land, but they're technically still a country, albeit one that mostly operates as a charity these days. Countries like the Marshall Islands are the most disadvantaged countries, but I should also mention a country that's pretty well off, but is in a worse position than you would expect. You might think Canada is safe, but America could totally invade them. Here's a link to a whole video I made on the topic. So it could get worse.